Welcome to Dress Stories. Today we have this fabulous guest, Esmahan Abdullah, and we're just so incredibly happy that you came here to be with us.
Thank you. I'm glad too.
Well, let's start by, I'm going to ask you, I've known you for quite a while. Are you okay if I call you Ezzy?
Absolutely not. That's most of my friends call me Ezzy.
Okay,
so
good.
That's fine.
Oh, I started laughing because I thought you were
I don't
mind.
mind.
Absolutely not. You can't call me that.
No.
Okay. So why don't we start with you telling us just a little bit about yourself, like where you were born. We always ask that of everybody, if they were native to Edmonton or not. So where are you from, and what's kind of a day in the life of Ezzy like?
So I was born in Africa, specifically in Somalia. And we left Somalia when I was about 4 or 5, I can't remember, due to a civil war. And we moved to Kenya for like a year. Then we moved to Kuwait.
Wow.
And then we moved to England. And I moved here. So
I can't imagine that
4
sequential places. And then Edmonton.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy. We'll get into the whole Edmonton part later. And you have a family?
Yeah. So my family, I have 2 younger sisters and my mom. My dad passed away in 2018, sadly from cancer. But I have a lot of extended family in the UK, and we have many, many family all across the continents. I'm here with my husband and my 2 sons. I have to call their names.
The most
Hisham and Bassam.
boys.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
They are
boys.
12 and 11. One is born in England and one is born in Edmonton. And so it's just the 4 of us in Edmonton, and my in-laws live in Toronto. And I have uncles and aunties that live in Toronto too. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your style, your personal style, and also how it's maybe morphed or evolved over the last few years?
My style is actually evolving, and I feel due to all these cultural influence of living in 4 continents, different cultures that are totally opposites of where they are. I actually don't have one style. My style, I would call it's my mood. So it reflects on how I feel and the season I'm in my life. So, and one of the things is when I was during my teen years to adolescence, I did not care for fashion. I wore whatever I wanted. My poor mother, every day she's like, "Is that what you're wearing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm wearing." And I didn't care. But now I feel I've matured after the kids. Your body changes, your mindset changes. So I choose pieces that last longer, pieces that I think I can re-wear in a different occasion. And what goes with my body that I feel confident with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Are you a shopper now? Would you consider yourself a shopper? How do you feel about shopping?
I buy when I need.
Okay.
And I'm against just buying. I have an official diagnosis of ADHD, so impulsivity is part of my personality. So 2017, I wrote a blog about this where I said I'm not going to shop for a whole year.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
Yes, that's a big
It was a
deal.
big deal. And the way I trained myself was I would go to the store, I would have the impulsivity, I want to buy something, and I will stop. Then I'm like, do I need it or do I want it? And if it's I want it, I will walk away. Wow. And that trained me now that I don't just jump to a piece unless I really, really need it. So it's more of need rather than just want.
So I'm curious, because by denying what you want, is that I know that fashion, and this wasn't even part of our questions.
Yeah.
I know that fashion is just such a kind of a shallow pursuit in some people's mind. And it's, but oftentimes we get people that come into our shop and they'll say, "Oh, I don't need it." Well, really, there's no need for most of the clothing that's out there.
Yeah.
But there's a difference with fashion, right? I mean, fashion is never a need.
It's true. I don't follow trends. I think that's what I would say.
Okay.
Like, I don't care for trends. I go for what I feel comfortable at that time. And sometimes that changes. Like, something that I'm very beautiful, that I loved 2-3 years ago might not be something that I'm looking for. Do we get influenced by fashion? Absolutely. But I have a sister who is my fashion icon, I have to admit. And sometime I would go...
Which sister?
My middle sister, Amna. So she's gone to university for fashion design, but this child was born as she was fashion since she was 3. And she would be like, hey, this doesn't suit, the age or the time or whatever. So we'll fight about it. But then at the end, I'm like, okay, I see what you mean. So she's my first person I go for, but I never look into magazine and think like, oh, this is what's on and I should be on that trend.
On trend, yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I think things too have changed considerably, compared to, I've said this before in a previous interview where my mom's generation, it was only short skirts for this amount of time, only maxi skirts for this amount of time,
Yeah.
And now anything goes really.
I know.
Anything
and
goes.
I think the trends are getting like
the lines are blurred.
Yeah, they're
right?
very blurred. And things that we were wearing in 2000 is coming back and supposed to be, they're teaching us now. I'm like, I had that ugly belt at the university, so no.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't think there's one trend going on at the same time. It's just too many.
Right. Especially if you pick up like the fall Vogue and just thumb through it. It's like, oh, punk rock fashion. Oh, this kind of, this is, romantic. Every single thing we buy. Right? It's
exactly
so that we buy. So how do you balance comfort with fashion in your everyday?
Honestly, on my day-to-day, it's very comfortable. I'm on sweaters and like baggy jeans. I work at school, so I want to be comfortable, but I like to be playful. I love being playful and I think that helps me as well connecting with kids. So I was wearing a Snoopy t-shirt the other day and the kids just loved it. But when I'm going out with my girlfriends, I'm like, no, I'm gonna dress up, makeup all the time that I don't dress. So again, it's the mood. It's different when I'm going out with my kids just to the park. So
right.
I like things that I don't feel pretentious, and it's just me and it reflects off my personality. I love color. I know I'm wearing black, but I love bold
this green
colors.
Is beautiful.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite colors. And I love color.
You're a Taurus, aren't you?
I'm a Taurus.
Maybe it's the emerald. Hey?
I love emerald.
I just remembered that you're a Taurus.
My whole wedding was an emerald theme.
Wow.
Yes, I love it. So
very nice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your community. So how do you think that your community or your cultural background shaped the way that you dressed or how you express yourself through fashion?
I think growing up, I actually grew up in a very creative, focused home. My maternal grandfather was an artist. He was a painter. My mom used to make her clothes. And there's one story I want to share with you how this influenced me is my mom was invited to a wedding to one of her cousins, I think. And her family are very influential. Like they were working in politics, but she married my dad, who comes from a very, they didn't have that economic whatever. And so she wants to go to this wedding. It was a minister marrying someone, is whatever, big deal. And she was like, well, I need to be trendy, but what do I do? So she buys this fabric, when you make patterns, that cheap fabric, she designs this beautiful dress, get it made, and then she dips it in tea.
Oh, wonderful.
And she goes to this party. Everyone's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Where is it from? Da, da, da. Next day, she said she burned the dress because she didn't want them to know. When you get closer, you know what that dress. And she was like, until today, nobody knew how this dress came up.
Oh.
And that taught me, you don't have to have the money. You can do whatever you want if you get creative. So that part of creativity, and plus the Somalian culture is well known for beautiful fabrics, the textile and the vibrance, and nobody's shy from wearing that. So our weddings or any gatherings that women come, the bolder, the the bigger, the brighter, the sparkler is better.
Did you wear color at your wedding?
Yes.
What did you wear? The green?
So I wore, my wedding dress was a cream dress, but then it had a belt that was turquoise, like a teal. And then I had a friend of mine gave me an Indian gown as well, that I wore that. And then I had another traditional dress as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think people are getting away from wearing just white at weddings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on. That's probably our most asked phone call here is, do you take wedding dresses? And then they always say, I only wore it once.
And white is not part of our culture.
Yeah.
So when we were in Somalia, people didn't wear white dresses. They wore traditional Somali, what we call dera, which I brought it today. And there are 3 pieces that's what we wore at weddings. But then people obviously traveled and they got inspired, or you learn a new culture. So now younger generation are wearing more white than what we wore. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel pressure to, you know, from your community or your social circles to dress a certain way, or have you always had just laissez-faire kind of?
No, I didn't. I never feel pressure in that way. But when you go to wedding, the expectation is you're not wearing pants. Like, that's not going to happen. So you know what everyone's going to look like. And I feel it's an opportunity actually to celebrate that, because we're not getting that on a day-to-day. Back in the days when my mom and everyone's in Somalia, the piece of dira, everybody used to wear it on daily.
How do you spell that? Sorry.
It's called dira, D-I-R-A-C.
Okay.
So C, we call it then.
Right.
But now nobody's wearing that around. So when we come to these parties, I feel like it's a way of celebrating and holding that culture, and then like just taking it down to a generation, because I wouldn't have worn this had my mom didn't wear it on a wedding. And I love that. I love that younger kids get to see that and they get to hold that culture. Yeah.
Do you think that in the Somali culture, there's any changes? Say, you know, I have a Japanese friend, and she says that the younger people are not interested in the kimonos. There's, you know, when she first went to Kyoto many years ago, you know, she could go into these vintage Kyoto kimono shops, and there would be stacks and stacks of beautiful silk kimonos. Wow. And they also feel that as long as you're not dressing as a geisha girl or something,
nobody's wearing it.
Well, you can, for non-Japanese, they're saying, go ahead and wear it as long as it's cultural appreciation, not appropriation.
Yeah.
And do you feel that in the Somali community, the younger people are still okay with all their
It's the opposite. The younger generations, every wedding that I've been, every time I see it, they love it. What's been happening, they've added twist. So now dresses, they will take a traditional fabric and make it into a dress, or they will bring a white dress, but then they'll add those fabric in the middle, and they're so proud. And I see they fighting over, they're actually not straying away, they're actually wanting. I've seen like I said, I see 12, 13 years old, really proud, and they really want to wear it. So, and I love it about that.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
That's
fabulous. I love that.
I first met you when you had just come from London.
Yeah.
And I know that was a tough move for you to come from all of these big cities, and, you know, and then to come to Edmonton. So what has changed as far as how you first viewed Edmonton and how you see Edmonton now? Yeah. And have you come to
terms?
To terms.
So
that's a good way.
I came to terms. So I moved from UK 2008. I got married 2007, and I stayed a year behind. I was just fresh graduate. I was working in London, fresh and so beautiful. And I came to Edmonton, and I was living in downtown Edmonton, and my husband chose that because he was like, you can walk. He knew I was social. And I'm not going to lie, it was so hard because just the difference. It's not as crowded. It's not as what I was used to. And I didn't have no family, friends. And it has come so far now. And now having a business in the creative field, I love it. I love how there's so many creative ways to be part of this city, and it's evolving and evolving, and there's so much space to evolve more. So it's like a new and old kind of thing.
Right.
So my project of staying in Edmonton 5 years has become 16 years.
That's
15, 16 years.
a big difference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've accepted that. And sometimes I celebrate it now because I wouldn't be able to wear some of the winter clothing that I wear here had I was living in UK. So
Right.
it's nice to have that kind of a different opportunity to
Right.
try that. Yeah.
And have you always felt safe in this city? I mean, there's been some issues in the last few years with Muslim
Yes.
women.
The Muslim women. And to be honest with you, that has been part of, even in the UK, like when I remember when 9/11 happened, that was a big shift. And I had people like my family ask me, you can take off your hijab and that puts you out like very visible. And I just believe like, no, if something is going to happen to you, it's going to happen to me. I think Edmonton, as much as you see those pockets of people, I haven't had a direct physical attack or anything like that. You get the verbal thing, but at the same time, I found a community that are so welcoming and so diverse and so beautiful. And yeah, I love it. I love being part of that. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Edmonton's happy to have you too.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we're so lucky. You went to art school in London,
Yes.
didn't you?
So I went to university and I specialized in weaving, like woven textile. I've always wanted to be a lawyer since I was 6 because
Wow.
I have
You could be
argued.
both.
I know, but this is how it all happened. So we moved to England and I don't know what changed my mind about law. And I was like, I'm going to become an animator. Animation is where to be. So to be an animator, you needed computing, math, and art. So I do art in college. And as I was doing art, one of my courses that I was doing was textile. And I thrived through that. And one of my teachers was like, you need to go to that university and check it out. And the rest was history. So I did 4 years of woven textile. So me and fabric are in love. This is why I don't like fashion in terms of fashion making the clothing,
Right.
but I love the textile part of it. And I appreciate textile.
That's the Taurus in you.
Is it?
I'm such a fabricaholic. It's just
Do you
that
go straight
tactile.
touching?
Always.
Straight.
Always.
I cannot not touch.
Always.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, I know that she. I know that you have made some clothing that you've brought, which we're going to show.
Yeah.
But also, I think you should show us a few of those jewelry pieces.
Yes.
They're really beautiful.
So just to retract back how we came to the jewelry, actually how we started with the fashion. When I was getting married, I couldn't find a dress that fit me, but it was modest and someone who's wearing hijab. So one day I came home and I said, Mom, hey, let's make my wedding dress. And she was like, what? And I was like, we can make the wedding dress. And as we went 3 years later, my sister was getting married, still nothing available. So we started a fashion business. And that's how it evolved. And when I moved to Edmonton, I started the jewelry line.
Fantastic. And you have been part of the Butterdome,
The Royal Bison.
the Royal Bison.
Yes.
Yes, for years and years. How many years have you been doing
I've
that?
been doing since 2018.
Wow.
Since 2018. It's one of my favorite. Actually, it's my favorite. Not
Is it
one.
twice a year?
Twice a year. And 2018 was the time when I lost my father. So this business has been my therapy, my peaceful place to be, and to be welcomed to a community that's such loving. Like I go there because I feel it fills my soul with the community. Is beautiful. Yeah.
It's hard not to embrace you. I mean,
Oh,
when we first met, I just thought, who is this cute you were just so
we need to tell them
young
how
and
we met.
Sweet.
Yes. And you've been quite a big part of me settling down. Honestly, anytime I felt down and I felt like, oh, I miss home, I can't be here, I was like, it's a time to visit Angela, because
That's
I
an
loved
honor. That's
yeah,
a
and
big
I
honor.
loved your
Thank
store.
you.
I loved that you were so welcoming, and I was excited, and that gives you hope, like, oh, there are some beautiful places, pockets that are hidden gems in the city, and I'm still like discovering every day something new, which is beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's see some of your jewelry pieces.
Okay. I think this is a piece that I made inspired by my son. So years ago, I think it was 2018 actually, I made, I call it Queen Kentucky. I made magnetic bracelets, and he came, he was like, Mom, what if you put them together and it becomes a necklace?
That's perfect.
And you can do a lot of ways that you can wear this piece. And these pieces were inspired by African designs. I love the bold, I love the texture, and I love the versatility. Like I get bored easily. It could be Taurus thing as well. So I want someone to buy a piece that they can actually wear it different ways, but you can still make it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the colors of that. Yeah,
Thank
really,
you.
really nice. So you do the threads around
Yes.
and everything? Yeah.
Yes.
Really lovely. What else did you bring?
And these pieces were from my last collection. Oops. Okay. These are just wooden pieces that are hand painted, and they're light. I love bold.
I love the gold and the black, and that's
Thank
so
you.
my jam. That's,
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I like jewelry that are light. If you see, all my pieces are huge. Like, they'll be big, but when someone comes, and I love when people are like, oh, it's very light. I was like, yeah, I don't like anything that's heavy.
We were talking earlier about even wearing a hijab, that sometimes you get a headache.
Yes, I get
And
migraines.
We get customers that have beautiful big necklaces that they're wanting to sell to us or pass on, consign. They said, because I can't wear them anymore. They're too
Because
heavy.
they're so heavy.
Yeah.
And
So
these are all like
great.
adjustable. So I know a lot of people are allergic to metal.
Right.
So these goes really well.
This is a great color. That's fantastic. Yeah, those are beautiful. And you hand paint all of these?
I hand paint all of those.
Wow.
They're painted, they're varnished, so you don't even have to worry if they go on a
We'll
on a
even
water.
share your
website.
website.
Sure.
Yes, that'll be perfect.
And then I have some sentiment. Do you want me to show that, or?
Sure. You know what?
But it's not
There's-
made
I
by
think
me.
that's okay. Let's
Okay.
see another piece of jewelry, and then
Okay.
I want to look at a couple pieces of your clothing
Sure.
after.
So this is a sentimental piece.
That
In
is
Somalian culture, gold is a big deal. So you get gold when you're getting married, you get gold as a gift, gold is just, they see it as an investment piece, but at the same time, it's something like that you just wear it, traditional.
and- yeah.
So this piece, this set, was bought by my late father, and it's so precious to me because my dad was in Kuwait when the Iraqi war happened, and he was compensated, and that was the first money he got, and he went, I want to buy you gold.
That's
And
so beautiful.
he got it custom made. It's a Moroccan style design. And yeah, I don't have a daughter, but maybe one of my sons, they have to fight for it for their wives.
That is absolutely
So
stunning.
yeah, it's a
Wow.
beautiful piece, and I love it.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So clothing wise,
Mhm.
I know that there is a couple of really beautiful pieces here, which is the gray. What's the gray there?
This one.
Yeah.
So this is what we call abaya or jalabiya. So you'll
Like-
see it, a lot of Muslim women wear it. So
This
we wear
fabric is just
it's beautiful
wow.
fabric. And the stitches, the cross stitching, it's what we call it tatriz in Arabic, and it comes from Palestinian culture. So that's where it started.
Wow, that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
So when would you wear this?
This we would wear it if you are going to the mosque or any religious, or even like if you're wearing something that you want to just, like when I wear my traditional clothes that maybe could be revealing, and I'm wearing hijab, so I just put this piece on top, and that you can just walk in with it. So
That's gorgeous. I bet you that's beautiful on you.
I love it. I sometimes wear it with the jeans and shirt, white shirt,
It's gorgeous.
and it doesn't have to be like a religious part. Yeah.
Do you know the other piece that I'm really intrigued with is that black one that you brought? I think
Yes.
it's Palestinian.
It's Palestinian thobe as well. So my sister is married to a wonderful Palestinian.
I've
And
seen pictures of them on Instagram. They're such a
they
beautiful
are
family.
so beautiful. So she brought this from Jordan. So
Wow.
Jordan have many, many Palestinians that live there. And this is hand cross-stitched, which is amazing. So Tatriz goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. And this is how Palestinian culture is preserved.
So here's another dumb question. So is this something that, you know, a non-Muslim person could wear and not worry that it's cultural appropriation? Or is there some traditionalness to it that is just not something?
I think you can wear
I love
it.
these fabrics.
Yeah, I think you can wear it as long as you are like you're saying this is Palestinian thobe. What happened a few years ago, I can't remember the brand. There was a fashion brand that ran with it, sold it as their design without.
Shame on them.
Exactly. So I think you can wear it because I have friends who wear dirah. I have friends who wear this, but I think it's important to give the credit where it's due, right? And then mention that, but not to promote it as something that's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is stunning.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I'm also a real textileaholic, and I love especially handiwork that's done by women. And normally it's so undervalued.
Yes.
You know, because they just think, you know, if men did embroidery, it would be worth, you know,
Oh, 100%.
millions of dollars.
100%. And I think the part that preserving the culture part is beautiful, I think.
It's pretty stunning.
Yeah.
I love this piece. So I think we have time for one more. Which one do you want to show?
This one.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this one, I think. Oops.
I'm just going to hold this one because maybe she'll forget it here when, you know, afterwards.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. It is gorgeous.
Okay. So this is the Somalian traditional dress. This you'll find in every home. I'm lucky that my mom bought me some. I don't wear this for every day. I'm just too clumsy, but I wear it for weddings. So this piece is it's like an undergarment. Oh, actually it's an inside out, if you can see. Like I said, the sparkler, the better.
Oh, that's amazing.
So they come as a fabric and you make it. So I made it into the undergarment. So this goes just under and then you wear with the dirah itself. So this we call it gorgoro.
Gorgoro.
Yeah, I'll send you the spelling.
Okay.
And then this is the dirah. This is like a kaftan, but it's not a kaftan. Oops. And this again comes as normal fabric, but then you can just wear it like.
This
it's pure silk.
Stunning. Absolutely
it's beautiful,
stunning.
Right? And
I'm not
then
sure which one is my favorite. But wow.
And then you wear this little, we call it garbasar, which goes around you. And that's it. And the interesting part of it comes a season. What I mean by season is there's trend. So some dirah pattern disappears and you better not go to a wedding with an old 2 years pattern. Yes.
And everybody knows.
Everybody knows. And if you go to a wedding wearing this, you cannot go to another wedding knowing the same people are attending. It's quite expensive. So what me and my friends do is we swap around. I'm like, I'm not paying because it's very expensive. You can spend up to $500 or more, depending on. I just steal from my mom whenever I go back home.
Well, we have heard of, you know, Lebanese weddings where there's 1,000 guests. And when I was downtown in Manulife, we had a woman that used to come to the store quite regularly. And she said, if you're going to 10 weddings, that's 10 outfits, and everybody gives at least $1,000 as a gift. As a gift.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, it gets so expensive.
It gets very expensive. So just go minimal. I don't go to every wedding, but when I go, you go. You come out there.
I think that you could go into business making these because I could think of about 40 people that would buy them, and they're pretty stunning.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you one last question, and it's going to be, who has been your biggest inspiration when it comes to fashion, and who has sort of influenced you the most in your life?
I think my mom. My mom is since we were little, she would sew our clothes so we don't look like anyone else. So she refused the whole uniformal, or if we go into anywhere, she'll buy. And she taught me how to be frugal too. So we would buy fabric that's not very expensive, but make it into something beautiful. And just having that choice of playing with color, playing with vintage stuff. And she's a shoe lady too. Unfortunately, I'm not. My grandmother was the same, my mom's mom. She was a beautiful, she's from Yemen, so pure Yemeni, but she had all the 1960s dresses, stunning woman, beautiful jewelry that she inherited. So I think my mom and my grandmother are.
So when you were young and your mom was making you clothes, did you feel it was that special back then? Or were you saying, I want this from the store, or I want... And it's now taken you. Did you understand how cool it was at the time?
I didn't. And I think even when I was even growing up, I didn't understand that. And fashion is viewed different from the Western society than when you live in a different part of countries. Handmade stuff, it's not as valued because you take it for granted. Everybody's doing it. But then, someone comes from Canada and they're like, oh my goodness, this bag is so beautiful. It's handmade. They're like, but you want a ready-made. A ready-made stuff is made to be that interesting because it's imported and then it's too expensive. So at that time I was like, are we just poor? Is that why we're making our dresses? What's happening here? But now I know. And I think that with the jewelry, when I started because I used to make my own jewelry because I didn't want anyone to look like my jewelry. And my husband was like, maybe it's time you sell all the stuff that you have. So yeah, I think.
He's a smart man there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank you for bringing these pieces. And, when I first asked you, you said, oh,
I don't have anything.
And then you came with the big suitcase. You brought a big suitcase. So
I didn't realize.
There were so many pieces that we could have chosen from.
Yeah.
And they are amazing. I would say that, they're all my favorite, but look at these. And very similar colors too.
I love colors. And I think, like I said, when you move from your country and everything, I think clothes and food is what preserve your identity and keeps that culture going on with the next generation, because we have nothing else but the culture part of it. And I know I don't have girls, but at least my boys can see that. And I talk to them about that. And then being in those kind of environment where they can see and appreciate but our culture. And I walk around and I'm like, yeah, I am who I am because of all these different parts of the world that I lived. And it gives me that part where I don't care. Like I don't care for what fashion, what people look at you, what you're wearing. Because I've been in many spaces where I'm the only one who's wearing hijab, or I'm the only one who's dressed certain ways. But I'll assure you, 5 minutes later, you'll forget.
Right.
That's because I want you to see me as me and not what I'm wearing only.
Whoa. On that note, if that is not the most beautiful way to end this is. And you have always been beautiful
so
inside and out. And I see you.
I appreciate you.
I see you.
You've been a big part of my Edmonton. My husband should thank you for not me leaving and going back to England within a month. He knows. I told him. I was like, Angela kept me holding the fort down.
Oh, thank you.
So I love it. Thank you for inviting me for this.
Well, this is really special. So thank you again. And it was wonderful to chat with you about all your traditions.
Same. Thank you so much.